The studio lights burned bright as Stephen A. Smith leaned forward, his voice trembling with a mix of fury and disappointment. On live television, the man known for his sharp takes and unapologetic truth-telling was at his breaking point. The topic wasn't a missed shot or a bad play. It was something far deeper. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of boxing's brightest stars, had once again fallen into darkness. The arrest, the headlines, the wasted potential, it all boiled over in a fiery moment that left viewers frozen. Stephen A. didn't just criticize Davis. He exploded. His words cut through the noise of the sports world like a blade, raw and unfiltered. This wasn't just a bad decision. It was a career self-destruction. For months, Gervonta Davis had been on top of the world. His fights filled arenas, his knockouts trended across continents, and his name carried the kind of respect reserved for only the most feared athletes. He wasn't just a boxer, he was a phenomenon. Every punch he threw seemed to shake the sport awake. Every stare down, every entrance, every roar from the crowd felt like the return of boxing's golden era. And yet, beneath all that glory, something darker was building. Those close to him saw the warning signs: short tempers, chaotic nights, whispers of problems behind the scenes, but no one wanted to believe that one of the sport's great hopes was heading toward disaster. When the news broke of Gervonta's latest arrest, the shockwaves rippled through every corner of sports media. Fans who had defended him before went silent, promoters buried their heads, and Stephen A. Smith, who'd often praised Tank's skill and power, couldn't hold back his rage. Sitting across the ESPN desk, his voice rising with each word, he called it what it was: a tragedy of talent wasted. He spoke not as a critic, but as a man tired of seeing greatness thrown away for ego and recklessness. His tone carried the weight of someone who genuinely cared about the game, about the fighters who put everything on the line, and about what this pattern meant for the future of boxing. "Gervonta Davis," he said, pacing in frustration, "you had everything: money, fame, respect, legacy, and you threw it all away." It wasn't just commentary. It was heartbreak disguised as outrage. Stephen A. had seen this story before. Athletes who rise from nothing, conquer the world, then lose it all because they can't control their impulses. The difference was that Gervonta wasn't just another athlete. He was supposed to be the next great face of boxing. The one who could fill the void left by Mayweather, Pacquiao, and the legends who came before. Instead, he was now the headline for all the wrong reasons. The frustration stemmed from how preventable it all was. Davis wasn't taken down by lack of skill or defeat in the ring. He was taken down by his own decisions outside of it. Stephen A. reminded viewers that when athletes reach that level of fame, they carry more than just personal responsibility. They carry the hopes of fans, the dreams of kids watching them, and the future of the sport itself. "You've got young men and women looking up to you," he said, voice cracking with anger. "You were proof that someone from the streets could make it to the top. And now look, you're proof that even at the top, you can still fall if you don't have discipline." The arrest wasn't Gervonta's first brush with controversy, but this time felt different. This time, the damage wasn't just to his image, it was to his legacy. The timing couldn't have been worse. A major fight on the horizon, massive sponsors lined up, and global eyes fixed on him. All of it vanished overnight. The contracts, the commercials, the credibility, all slipping away because of choices made in moments of anger and pride. Stephen A. compared it to lighting a match next to your own career and watching it burn. His voice boomed through the studio, raw and emotional, as clips of Gervonta's greatest knockouts played silently on the screen behind him. The contrast was haunting. The image of a champion at his peak now reduced to mugshots and courtroom headlines. Rogan, Skip Bayless, and other analysts had their takes, but none hit as hard as Stephen A.'s. He wasn't sugarcoating anything. He called for accountability, not sympathy. He talked about how fame doesn't excuse behavior, how athletes must be held to the same standard as anyone else, and how boxing as a whole can't afford to lose more of its stars to scandals. In one of his most intense moments, he shouted, "If you can't respect the platform you've been given, then you don't deserve it. If you can't control yourself, then maybe you belong somewhere where control is forced upon you, like prison." That line exploded across social media. Fans replayed it again and again. Some said he was being too harsh. Others said it was the reality check Gervonta needed. Either way, the message was loud and clear. Stephen A. wasn't attacking Gervonta as a man, but condemning the pattern that destroys too many gifted athletes before their time. He was furious because he saw what Davis could have been, one of the greatest to ever do it, and now he saw it slipping away for reasons that had nothing to do with boxing. In the days that followed, insiders began to reveal just how deep the fallout went. Sponsorships were frozen, promotional deals were reevaluated, and the fight world was left scrambling. Promoters who once fought over Tank's name were now distancing themselves. Fans, once chanting his name in packed arenas, were questioning whether they could ever cheer for him again. The sport had lost one of its brightest stars, and the silence that followed his downfall was deafening. Stephen A. returned to the topic days later, calmer but still visibly disheartened. He talked about second chances, redemption, and the long, painful road of earning back trust. He acknowledged that everyone makes mistakes, but this, he said, was bigger than a mistake. It was a choice, repeated too many times, with too many chances ignored. When you destroy your own career, he said quietly, you're not just letting yourself down. You're letting down everyone who believed in you. For Gervonta, the path forward is uncertain. He may fight again, he may rebuild, but the shadow of this moment will follow him wherever he goes. For Stephen A., it's not about canceling a fighter. It's about challenging him to rise again, to own his actions, and to finally grow beyond the chaos that keeps chasing him. Because if there's one thing the sports world loves more than a rise, it's a redemption. But redemption requires accountability first, and that's the part most never reach. In the end, Stephen A. Smith's explosion wasn't just a rant. It was a wake-up call. Not just for Gervonta Davis, but for every young athlete watching, every rising star balancing fame and temptation. His words cut deep because they came from truth. Talent can take you to the top, but character is what keeps you there. And until Gervonta learns that lesson, no amount of power in his punches will save him from the damage done by his own hands. What do you think about Stephen A.'s reaction? Was he too harsh or exactly right? Can Gervonta Davis come back from this, or has he permanently destroyed his career? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the biggest moments shaking the world of sports.